Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about loops in JavaScript. Loops are a simple and fast way to repeat something. So they simply mean to repeat something. If you want something to be done again and again and again, so sometimes it becomes, for example, if you want console.log h, you want this to be printed again and again, like you have printed this one time. Now if you want this to be printed 1,000 times, okay, 1,000 times, this is just 4 times, okay, then it will be quite difficult, and right, like to print it 1,000 times. That is why we need loops in JavaScript. First, mostly we use loops to iterate through arrays. We will see different examples in this video. Loops offer a quick and easy way to do something repeatedly. So there are different kinds of loops in JavaScript. First one is for loop. JavaScript's for loop is similar to for loop in C and Java. The for loop in C and Java, those. JavaScript supports different kinds of loops: for loop, for in loop, for off loop, while loop, do while loop. Right now, let's talk about for loop. In for loop, a for loop repeats until a specified condition evaluates to false. Okay, so first let us check out its syntax. Let's check the syntax of for loop. So first we have our for, and then we have round braces, and then the first expression will be our initial expression. In this initial expression is initialization expression. This expression usually initializes one or more loop counters, but the syntax allows an expression of any degree of complexity. This expression can also declare variables. We will see that ahead. So right now we know that over here we initialize our variables. Then we add a semicolon. Our next second expression is conditional expression. In this second expression, conditional expression, our expression is evaluated. It is basically a condition. If the value of condition expression is true, the loop statement executes. Whatever we have our statements inside for loop, those will be executed. Otherwise, the for loop terminates. If the condition expression is omitted, it is omitted entirely, like you don't write it at all, then the condition is assumed to be true. Okay, now our third expression is increment expression. This determines how long the loop will go, how many times it will go. And then we have our statement. Basically here you use curly braces for more than one statement, and if you have just one statement, then you can simply write it. Now we will take examples for some clarification. Let's take an example of, first let's take a very simple example to see the syntax. So first we will write our for, and then we will write our initial expression, which can also declare variables. So I will declare variable I, and I will also initialize it over here. And my second expression, okay, mind it, this can be also done above. So if I don't want to do it here and I want to do it here, I can do that as well. Okay, I can do it here, or maybe I want to just declare it above and initialize it here, I can do that as well. So I can do anything like that. Now my second expression, that is conditional expression. I want this simple loop to be less than 5. And then my increment expression, I want I plus plus. I want the value to be, my variable to be increased 1 by 1, plus 1, like that. And then my statement will be console.log hello. This is my statement. So you can see 5 written over here. That means this is printed 5 times in console. Okay. Now I started my loop with 0, and this condition is I less than 5. So how is this actually printing? Let's check that first. Console.log, if I'm consoling I, then you can see that first it goes into I. So how it goes into 0 is, first what it does is it initializes and it declares and initializes I with 0. So my initial statement is 0. So my I is 0. Now it checks, is 0 less than 5? Yes, it is less than 5. So it will print. Now it will print 0. Okay, it will print 0. Then in the next condition, it will do plus 1. So my I becomes 1. Okay, this is auto saving, therefore you can see that. So then it becomes 1 because I incremented it. So after incrementing, it will check the condition again. Is I less than 5? That is true. So it will print 1. Then what will happen? It will increment it again. So now my I becomes 2. Now it will check the condition. It is true. Just like that, it will 4. Okay. Now it increased to 4. Now it will check the condition. Is I less than 5? True. So it will print 4. It printed 4. Now it will make I equals to 5. Now it will check the condition. Is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is equal to 5. So this becomes false. Therefore it comes out of the loop, and with printing only till 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what happened here is that let's do one thing. Let's use var. Okay, and console.log I here, and I want to see what is the value of I. So you can see the value of I outside is 5. Why did I use var? Because if I use let, then I cannot, it will give me I is not defined with because it is block scopic. So okay, now let's check a simple, now let's check one thing. Let me give let I equals to 0, and let me put the condition as I is, if I is less than -1, then you print, otherwise you don't print. Okay, so now if I'm refreshing, it is not printing anything because I is 0. So after it got the value of I as 0, it checked the condition. The condition is false, so it got out of the loop. It did not even print once. Or let's make it 0. Still it did not print. If I'm making it 1, then it will print 0. If I'm making it, if I is less than equal, if I is less than equal to 1, then you do this. So now if I'm making this 4, it will not print. okay, because it is false. Now let's take some examples. Like I said, mostly this is used in arrays, for looping over arrays. Now let's take up an example. Suppose you have let a equals to, you have an array of a, let's make this a cat, okay, let's make this a b and c, okay. You have an array a b c. Now this array is given to you and I am asking you, this is a question, I want c b a as an output, okay. So what do I want? That this array should give me back a string format, one word. I want just one word but in reversed order. So what shall I do? Let's check. So first let's initialize a variable which will contain our result. Let's initialize it with empty string, okay. So this is my empty string. Now I take up for loop, because in this video we are learning about for loop. So we are going to take that example, how to achieve this with for loop. For let I equals to, now let's take a different type of example. I want this to be cat dot length. Now first of all, what this will do is, let's check what is the length of this particular array, cat dot length. So it is giving me 3, okay. So how is length being calculated? Is 1 2 3, so it will give me 3. But what we want to achieve is this, the index of this particular a is 0 and this is 1 and this is 2. So we want 0 1 2, but the length given to us is 3, 1 2 3. So you have to keep this thing in mind. So let I equals to, if I'm taking the length of this, so the length as we discussed, it will give me the length as 3. But what do I want? I want the last character will be at index 2. I want 2. So I have to write -1 over here. Now my second, this is my initialization, okay. I have initialized it with this. Now I want to put up a condition which should be true, then only it will go inside, otherwise it will not go inside. So till what do I want it to go inside? If I is greater than equal to 0, then you go inside this for loop, otherwise you get out of the for loop, okay. So what we are doing over here is, let's check. First let me console it. Okay, so what we are getting is cat dot length -1. So initially the value of I is 2, and then our condition is that if 2, right now it is I is 2, if 2 is greater than equal to 0, then it is true, right? It is greater than equal to 0, so it went inside. And I minus, so we want to decrease the value of I, okay. So now that we have the index value 210, what we will do is, we will write, what we want is, we want a single word. So we will access cat of this and see what it gives us. So it is giving us CBA in exactly the format we want. Now we want it to be a single word and not like this. So what we will do is, we initialized a word result, we will use that and we will concatenate result plus whatever is coming in this. Okay, and we will then outside console it. We got CBA. How did we get CBA? So result is an empty string. We are concatenate C first because we got C first. So we did put C inside. And then we got B. So we did put, so now let me show you here only. First result is empty. We added cat of I, that is cat of 2, which is C. And then result became C. Now in the next statement, result is C. We added of 1, cat of 1, which is B. So C is already there. We added B as well. And then we added CB is there. We added A. This is how we got CBA. Okay. Now we will take one last example. Okay, so now let's take an example that an array is given to you and you are given 6, maybe 3, 2. Okay, you're given a set of numbers in an array format and you have to add them all, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 2 plus 2, like that. So what you will do, and you have to do it using for loop. So let's try this out, how we can do this. So we can say for let I equals to 0 and then I is less than AA dot length, and we can say I plus plus. So first let's check what we are getting in this. Okay, so we are getting 0s to 1, 0 1 2 3 4 5. That is correct. We want 5, right? So we have initialized it with 0 and we have taken less than length. So it will not include the last one because we have written less than, not less than equal to. Now what I can do is I also want a variable called count in which I can put add my characters. So maybe I can just put a comma here and I can write count equals to 0. And this basically we can initialize as many variables we want by using comma over here, or we can do it here anywhere you want. I'm just showing you different ways of doing it. Now, like we did concatenation, just like that over here, we will add the numbers. That was string, this is numbers. So I have 0 in count. So I'll write count 0. 0 plus what? This is my index number, okay? It is giving me index number. I have the whole array. So what I can do is AA of accessing the index number. Now, what the issue is in this particular thing is that because I have declared count over here, so I can just console it over here only. First, let's do that. So, oh, I have written AA of 0. Okay, I have to write AA of I. My God. Anyways, so 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 plus 2, 6, 17. Okay, so we are getting 17. But now what if I want to access this outside? I don't want it in each and every step. I just want once 17. And if I'm writing this here, so it will tell me count is not defined because count will work only inside this block, right? So I can, var is not recommended, so I will not use var, but I was just showing you if you use var then you can use it, but it is not recommended at all. Therefore I am going to put it here so that I can access it over here. Okay, thank you.